pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. John Hotchkiss here.
Joe Bailey here.
John Long here.
Okay, first on item here. Approval of a new animal control officer.
We're going to talk to the board about, well, the last gentleman, he still would like to remain on as like an alternate,
Okay,
but he just not really available often when we needed him,
okay.
and he wasn't able to change that to be available more because of his full-time job. So I had the pleasure of speaking with Teresa Jones. She lives down on 153 at the bottom of the hill, not too far from Laura's house. She has a little boarding facility there. She has her license and everything for a kennel. She's very compassionate about animals and taking care of animals, so her and I got talking and she'd be interested in coming on as the ACO position. She'd be the primary, with Goodfield still be in the background if needed. Like if there was a bill if Teresa wasn't available, we could call out Bill. I do have a background. If you guys want to just scroll through it, I brought
Sure.
It's a civilian background, so it's not quite as in-depth as a police background.
At one time,
She has
there was talk of a animal control officer shared among us, Farmington, maybe Milton. That's gone nowhere, I'm guessing.
It's something we'd still like to do in the future, but 2 out of the 3 agencies had their selectmen deny the increases needed in the budget to facilitate it, so at some point we'd like to work on it again, but for now it was kind of put on hold.
Is that the one when you're going down the hill, Laura's house is on the right and that kennel is on the left? There
No,
are
it's
2 of
past
them
that
over
one, not
there.
right across from her house, a little bit farther down the hill. She's
Right.
way back in,
On the left?
yeah, on the left.
Yeah, I know where she is.
This was a spot, was it, Mr. Brown was involved with the dog altercation?
Yeah, he shot a dog at that call.
But it's not all the way down to Fuller's house.
No.
No, not quite. A couple before that.
Across from Matson, maybe? Jeannie Matson?
It's the grayish one that's pushed in, you go around, you go in, you go.
Okay.
it's
Way out
that
back, so you
one.
can just see it from the road, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Sounds like a plan.
she's gone through the background, she's done everything she needs to do as far as paperwork with us. It would just be the selectmen approving her hiring, and I would recommend a pay rate of like, say, $12.50 an hour, I think would be fair for somebody.
Is that what we're paying the other
The
gentleman?
last guy, I believe, was getting $10 an hour, but he really didn't do a lot. I mean, if you look at, here's the ACO budget, you can see how much left they have of the salary for the year. And how little was used up till half this point of the year. She's gonna be a lot more involved. We've had conversations. She wants to go to people with horses and get numbers and contact numbers and emergency numbers.
About cows.
She wants to do a lot of,
Wrong town, John.
same thing. She wants to, anybody that has large animals. She's just very enthusiastic about spending some time doing some stuff for the town and raising, money to help feed dogs that people can't afford to feed their dog and
And cats?
cats too. I think she'll be a lot more involved than the last guy was.
Does the previous gentleman have a uniform? And will this one need a uniform? And what do we do for a vehicle?
The vehicle is gonna be the old, I don't remember even what car it was now, the old SUV that's sitting out there we stripped down.
Okay.
And we stripped it down for that reason, to make it the animal control officer car.
But will it stay here or stay in her yard?
My thought would be to stay at her house in case she needs it to come out, for a dog call or something. But again, that'd be up to you guys. It doesn't really make too much of a difference to us. The less cars in that parking lot, the better for me. Plus she'd have all her equipment with her and stuff in the car. We set it all up like official ACO car. As far as the uniform goes, Bill had polo shirts, but we discussed with Teresa doing similar polo shirt, but maybe like BDU style pants or something that's professional.
You all set with this?
Yeah. It's all up in the air right now, but she's very willing to work on it and put some time into getting things set up. But I did at the end of last year buy her some animal control officer equipment.
So all we do is look for a motion to,
Yeah, just a couple things to clarify. Any thoughts about where to keep the car? For example, Chief Lawrence keeps the car, command vehicle at his house. you, I believe, have one to take home.
I think in this situation, if they leave from the house and go immediately to a call, and save a little time.
Rick Washburn takes his home. I believe Ed Brennan takes the other one home, which is just barely over the
And
line.
we used to allow the other guy to take a parking down there. Randy's old
Yeah, he
car
kept
was
it at
down
his
there
house.
like Saturday. You know, we better look at his yard, broke it down an hour, so.
It's not gonna be used for anything else, and it's
No.
not that far.
And that's the point, we don't wanna use, right now it's convenient that if we're short on a cruiser, we grab it and use it. I don't really want it to be used for patrol work any more than we need to. Obviously, in a real emergency situation, it would take precedent that we'd have to snag it, but it'd be good to keep it at our house, you keep all the poles and everything in it there. And,
There's no lights, siren on it.
there still are, we would make sure she, as long as they're not on, a civilian can still use them, we would just make sure she understands that she can't use those to respond to a dog call.
Cat in the tree.
Is that an orange light that you go, if you have to go after somebody in an animal control
I think
situation?
they could do orange or green or something, but.
Green.
Definitely not blue.
She's not allowed to carry
No,
firearms.
she wouldn't be carrying a firearm, she's a civilian employee.
Okay.
She'd be kind of like a code enforcement, you still swear her into the town as an agent of the town. So that way she can write violations for parking dogs and running large and stuff like that, but she wouldn't carry a firearm or she wouldn't have any arrest powers.
Is there any training involved with that at all, from the state or anything that you're aware of?
It's funny you say, I didn't bring it up with me unfortunately because I didn't anticipate you asking that, but I have a little flyer actually. Durham or UNH is putting on an animal control officer training and I was hoping to get her hired and to get her into that.
Oh.
So yes, there is training available, but I
If
would
she was,
mostly have her
if she was
work.
hired here, she'd be allowed to use the ACO vehicle, go to her training. You know, acknowledge.
Hey, fuel.
So,
Just for what it's worth, having captured a few cows recently, have her get a supply of feed.
yeah,
It's much easier than trying to
You're a
chase.
cowboy, John, you're a cowboy.
fucking brain in the back.
Yep. They
So,
chased a few animals. Anyway, what is your pleasure? Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sorry,
All
go
right,
ahead.
your motion?
I'll make a motion that we hire Teresa Jones to be the new ACO officer, primary ACO officer, effective, July 3rd, July 2nd, whatever, 2018.
Second.
All right, any discussion from anyone? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, all right.
That's why I wanted to need her name.
So the rate of pay is good? I just wanna make sure.
Yes,
full
yeah,
file.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Stay in the budget anyhow, so.
Yeah, we still got plenty in this year's budget. And
All right, minutes, Board of Selectmen meeting, June 25th. I've had a chance to review these already.
Oh, yeah? Awesome. Wow, that's great. He's studying.
If you guys are also, okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, we're saying, you have,
Go over here in my stead.
Yeah.
yeah, actually, so I make a motion that we accept the June 25th minutes, 2018.
As written.
Second. All in favor? All right, opposed? Good. Spruce Road sale paperwork and deeds.
Okay, this is
Spruce Road,
the,
Spruce
these
Road.
are the parcels you
Yeah,
sold to
awesome. I'll
Peter
look for that.
Ciccolini.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Let me know.
I'm having you fill out yours and then when he drops off his money, he'll sign his portions.
This is already approved at the last meeting.
Yes.
This is just a formality.
Yes.
The Spruce Road
Well,
sale.
it's a legal
Well,
format.
yes, thank you.
That's not.
It's not a just a formality, it's a legal necessity.
Legal.
Well, that was simple.
It's okay.
This is making it
Which
official.
one's that?
Yeah,
It's
Yes.
official formality.
The one that,
I'm gonna see. Yeah.
Nothing's coming.
might be interesting.
You're gonna put the date in there, right?
Yep, I will call that.
how many years is that? It's 10,
16.
16. It's
I
the
know.
longest I have ever lived in one place in my entire life.
Yep.
Where did you come?
Born in Concord, Massachusetts. Then I moved all over the country and I settled in Buffalo, New York. When I settled in Buffalo, New York, that was my 22nd home.
Oh my God.
My father was in the Navy, so we went
Oh.
East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
Just second page, right?
Stopped off in DC a couple
Yeah.
times.
There's two deeds.
Then you ended up in Middleton, New
Oh,
Hampshire.
Middleton. It was cost effective at the time.
And John?
At the time.
Really?
At the time.
Really? I didn't know that it's ever been cost effective, but.
I probably paid too much, but that's okay.
All right, true or false? Buffalo gets more snow than any other town in continental
Certainly
United
does.
States.
False.
Oh, not Buffalo. It's either Rochester or Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Syracuse gets more, yeah. The reason, Buffalo gets all the notoriety, but Syracuse gets more because Syracuse is at the tail end of Lake Ontario.
Right.
And it comes right from the northwest and it comes right down out there and it just comes up and it's just.
And all the crap is sitting there just lets it build right up before it comes any
Just
further.
like Rochester, Rochester doesn't get that much, but it's that whole along the Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. In the wintertime, here I was shocked in the wintertime because you have a snowstorm, blue sky after that. Not there, it's gray
Oh,
all the time. Beautiful fall, spring is just nothing. That cold.
All right, LCHIP, stewardship agreement.
Okay.
This is,
Yeah, this is the agreement that I gave, remember I talked about this before and I gave you, it's something that we have to sign for and basically.
You get to sign
You
for
get
it.
to sign for it.
anything internal, like you say,
Yeah,
sign there.
yeah. I have to, there's some documentation that has to go with that, which I have to get. They want a legal description. I pulled the tax card and I went in the tax file and there is no book or page of the old town hall. And it looks like we determined that Gwen and I were upstairs today looking at that, and it looks like there's something in 1891, but the records are not online, they're online from 1921.
Can you go into the archives in Concord?
Well, no, I'll have to go to the Registry of Deeds.
And don't they still put everything they have into the archives?
I'm gonna go to the Registry of Deeds there and ask them to pull up the official legal description. The legal description is property map such and such, such and such. I don't know how much that they want, if they want actual pin locations, and I have no idea, but there's no deed. We don't even know. Gwen said, when did they acquire the property? I don't know, I mean,
When I wasn't alive then, I don't know.
I don't know.
Help you with that?
Huh?
Call Ken Gary.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that, but I still need to get a piece of paper.
Right.
I'm surprised Jack might know too.
Yeah, Jack, I know. I need, when you notarize that, I need a couple copies and then give that whole thing to me. And I'll, one copy for the town, copy for the Heritage Commission, and we need to send the original to LCHIP. But I gotta get all the documentation. We still have stuff to get together. We have to take pictures of the town hall so that they can use that as a guide. So if we show the hall the way it is now, and then in the next inspection, the roof is falling in, they can make you do it. But one of the things was, talked about the insurance and the replacement costs. The building and replacement cost is like $734,000, so, yeah, that's what it says. So that's what we're insured for, and it is full replacement cost, according to Primex, right? We got a
Could
letter
they
on
even
that.
build one like that anymore?
Huh?
Could they even build a building like that anymore?
I think, no.
Would you even want to?
If I build a brand new building, yeah, except I'd have a nice big basement down there. But not
I'd have
now.
a single floor.
I don't know, maybe. Toast and bean, be beautiful.
Well, hopefully we don't have to worry about
That's
that.
right.
No, we don't.
All right, elderly exemption veterans tax credit denial.
She says it's a combo.
Another one.
So here it is, and then she says just sign the email. They send in an email now instead of a form.
After a session, really does not mean guidelines. Oh, this is for an elderly exemption, and this is not about for the tax, veterans tax credit. And the reason he doesn't, okay, elderly is he makes too much money, right?
Oh, for elderly. Why is the doesn't qualify as a veteran?
I don't know why he doesn't. He doesn't provide,
Right here.
oh.
It's in the email. I read it.
Oh, yeah, the vet, okay, I just checked my file, I did review these, I'm sorry for that, I did that. Offering for the veterans credit does not meet the criteria to qualify, and for the elderly, income exceeds the limit, unfortunately, over 35,000. So, veterans, you gotta provide a DD 214.
Right. But in order to get a veteran's credit, you have to.
You know, I know about the elderly credit, because there is a limit.
You have to serve in a war zone.
Yeah, there was a bill about that. I don't know what happened to that one. There was a bill saying if you were a member, because you won't have a war zone unless you have support someplace else, you know? Oh, sorry.
As a society,
I'm new at this.
Babysitters, yeah.
as a
See, I could've
society,
come
we,
on and I would've caught on a lot quicker.
That wouldn't take much.
we consider anyone who served as a veteran. That's the
It's not nice.
public accepted
It's
version.
all right, Joe. I don't
When in
get mad.
fact,
I get even.
the veterans have a different definition, have to have served in the.
Karma's a great thing.
Yeah, that's right, John, they do.
Yes.
Told you.
Told you.
Kind of got a splinter in my finger for about 3 weeks now.
Just let Tammy have at it. See? It's not
Need a strong magnet.
No, I'll take fingernail clippers to get that out tonight. Done.
All right. Next, PA 28, DRA request.
We get this every year. We do not do the PA 28. We just set a sign off that we do not do it.
What is it, PA 28?
It's an inventory
Oh,
for the assessor.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, that raises a good
It's an
question.
assessor
Should we
plan
not
that we know.
have some kind of a inventory list for the town of what assets we have?
I don't think we'd have to for the audit.
An inventory list of what, properties or
Yeah.
inventory of everything?
We do have an inventory list.
Yeah,
Everything?
Property.
right. It's part of our audit issue, isn't it? Yeah.
We have an inventory of our properties, yeah. All town properties. The whole
Might
town.
not be down to the exact number of
Right, I think it's
pencils.
just a form that we can choose to do or not to do. We've never done it, so we're.
Learn something every day.
Good. Okay. Under old business, I have a few items I've added, but I'll kind of take them and go on. The trailer at the old town hall. You said it's empty of some stuff.
Rec committee stuff, yes.
Anybody have any idea when the rest, whoever owns the rest is gonna be empty?
Well, I can tell you that the Heritage Commission will get their stuff out. Most of that stuff is, there's 3 items in there, 3 categories. There are 2 podiums, which will get up, put up in the chapel. There are memorabilia in the back that we can take out now and put someplace to eventually put back up. And there are prayer books, hymnals, that kind of stuff, and we can put those back in the chapel.
Okay.
The other things that are still in there are a couple things. There are the wooden chairs, and there are 2 metal racks, the big metal racks,
For the chairs.
for the chairs.
Okay.
There is no room for those metal racks in the new town hall, and we have sufficient room to put the metal chairs where we need to put them. We can have them under the staircase in the new stairway, yeah. I got 46 chairs in there without even batting an eye. There'd be room in there also to put there is also, the voting machine is in there. So we could put that in the stair underneath the staircase, we could, I'm not gonna paint the floor right away. That floor
Alright.
in there, so we could put it in there and get it out of there. As far as the other chairs, what do we wanna do with those folding chairs?
Folding wooden chairs,
Yeah,
I throw them away.
that's what I think,
Before somebody gets hurt on them and gets sued.
yeah.
We had that discussion once
I mean,
before.
Yeah, I think.
We have the dumpster right there, right?
yeah, we still have room in there, and the only thing that's gonna go in there now is, sheet rock. Scrap sheet rock.
Maybe that should go in first and then the chairs. In terms of the metal racks for the chairs, I recommend maybe put something out on Facebook to see if anybody wants it from another church or
Yeah, for
organization.
another organization,
Otherwise, it's scrap metal.
scrap metal, yeah.
If you don't want them, let's not hold on to the stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them out of there and just leave them outside.
Rental, is it once a month?
$100 a month, now,
Could we be
Did-
done
what-
by
did-
August
did-
1st?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Did the highway department approach any of you about possibility of buying that?
No. I'm not.
Okay.
We have one there already.
Yeah, we got a couple back there.
Two?
Yeah, behind I think they have a couple, or either one, maybe
We
it's
have one for sure.
One
We have
for
about
sure.
4 years ago, we approved to buy that.
Yeah,
Alright.
so, okay. Because Eddie had talked about that, he said, we might be interested in buying that. I said, well,
No.
okay. So we can have it out of there by August and get it out of there. They also need to get out of there when they do the driveway,
Right.
and lay it out and stuff. Okay.
As one who owns some properties, it's been my experience that the more place you have to store stuff,
Or you,
the more stuff you have to store.
Right.
just like a garage. Garage is not for vehicles, it's for stuff.
Okay, so we're gonna say in the notes, August 1st.
Yeah.
Good. New Durham ATV Club. Anybody gonna speak about it? Jim?
Jim was supposed to bring his people.
Oh, I don't think he was bringing him tonight,
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Okay,
tonight.
well, I had
think it
it,
was-
sorry.
Yeah,
so I don't think it was tonight either.
Scratch.
Well, he missed his turn. Too bad.
I'll tell him that, Jim.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be happy. Employee background.
Okay, so I received this background from an employee, I just wanna know if it's accepted. The employee did his own background, he went and got his own. I know before when we had people from another town, we said no, and we did the background ourselves. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Where do we go? Do we go to the state to get the background?
Normally, the employee comes here, they get fingerprinted downstairs with the police for free, they bring it up here, we send it out to the state, it comes back with a state and an FBI stamp on it, whether they have anything.
That does not include an FBI stamp.
No. Also,
Anybody-
it's a copy that comes from the employee, so I don't,
You can go to, up in Concord and get your own, just go to the window,
Yeah,
pay your bucks, and they print it out.
Yeah.
So anybody can do it. I mean, it's, whether it's the town or whatever, but the FBI, background check is more inclusive of, it's out of state,
It would be all states.
all states.
and it has like a nice red big FBI like thing on it, like.
I would prefer to see that for
That's the way we've been doing it for since we implemented everybody who works for town, be
Yeah.
background check, that's what we've
I mean,
implemented.
we're doing one on Kathleen right now,
So,
so I mean, she already works here.
That
Still,
document would be okay, but that's not the full documents that we need, right? I mean,
What's the
if that's,
position?
firefighter.
Fire department.
oh, yeah.
But I know we had a firefighter that was coming from Milton, and he offered his Milton background, and we said, no, we did our own. So I'm just trying to
The
make,
problem is,
how is it?
and in a way, it's right, because the way we do it, it's the most, we know it's the most current information that's out there. Nothing's omitted, hidden, okay? It's the same thing that we're doing for everybody else. We're not setting a different standard by doing it a different way. I think we just, I don't know if this costs the guy anything, but we have a process. If he was not told the process, well, that's somebody else's, thing to take care of, but we're gonna
Because
recommend.
we pay for it each and every time.
Right, we don't, right, so,
Did you do the background on Mr. Mullen?
It's an elected official,
Also, he don't need a background?
it wouldn't matter.
See? That's wrong.
So
The people
is,
chose.
is,
People chose.
I
so
realize that,
is
but
the
that's
policy
wrong.
that we
And not
order,
because it's
not,
strong.
and then not the employee, and we
Right.
order an FBI report,
And
so,
We do the driving and the criminal all in.
okay, not the employee.
see, the driving one that's already done, that's state information like that, so I wouldn't care about that right now.
And that's how it looks when we
Okay.
get it usually.
That one, I'd be like that, it's just the other part of it, with the criminal part of it, I'd like to have the same way.
Yeah.
You take care of it, if you pay for it, well, all right, thank you, but we're doing it our way, so.
In my previous occupation, I probably interviewed 200-300 people. The ones that brought their own letters of recommendation, I politely said, keep them. Okay? And I'm not gonna bring your own letter of recommendation in your own hand. Okay? It's convenient, but that's not the way it is. Okay, so do you need a letter from me saying thanks but no thanks?
No, I'll just send the email and
Okay.
say it needs to be done via the town and move
Make
from there.
arrangements for the police department, get your fingerprints done.
Waste management disposal.
When we met as a conservation, I don't know, Joe, I think you were there, conservation, maybe John, one of you was
I
there.
wasn't there.
We asked about like leave debris, if we can take our recycling down there, and I got a no. I followed up because he never gotten back to us. Yeah, about dropping off recycling without a cost, and if there was a place to drop off yard waste. He says the resident drop off is for Rochester only. He confirmed that they would take clean cardboard, and that is all. Other stuff is not accepted.
Oh,
So
not
no-
even
no-
other recycling, wow.
All other recyclables or yard waste will not be accepted. That's what it says.
So, some comments that were made that you could just take stuff up there is not correct.
All right, but could you take a trailer full of construction debris?
Yes,
Pay
you
for
can,
it?
but
And pay.
it
By the
costs you
ton.
about $186 a trailer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or you can have them have their green bag, whatever that
Oh,
bag
yeah.
is, pay $39, and then you pay $160 or
Yeah,
so.
they have a weight minimum,
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah. and it costs around $180.
$180
is
to
it
pick it up.
minimum or maximum?
Not for that particularly, but if you take it in, at whatever their weight minimum is for that amount of money, even if you're under it, they still charge you the minimum amount.
Yeah. So,
Is that?
construction waste is a.
Joe Bailey and I have complaints about them anyway.
Well, there is an issue with simple construction waste.
Oh my God,
Go ahead, keep talking about construction waste.
I'm talking
You got a
construction waste,
splinter, is that what you got?
talking about the crap that they're
Leave me
doing
alone.
with the barrels.
All right, so,
Okay.
yeah, we're good. Any other old business?
Technology update?
Yeah, you got technology.
Oh, I have a different, you didn't get the new one, I added.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you that I've been talking to Katie and we're gonna do the switch over on the 27th. It's a Friday, they're gonna come here. The day before, they're gonna set up the board computer, the assessing computer. They're gonna do all that the day before, and then the Friday, they're gonna come set up the server and move all that. So it'll all happen in one day, so by Monday, everything will be good to go and running. And made sure Blodgett was aware so we can get in downstairs.
So we're gonna have people on here, when they're here, we're gonna have people here.
I'm gonna be
to
here,
assure that everything's working properly.
Kathy
So
will
Monday
be
morning, there's
here.
gonna be no glitches?
Yes, that's why we're having,
That's gonna be
Chief
nice.
Blodgett will be downstairs for those, and then Kathleen and I will be up here for all the others. We should be good,
Okay,
should be.
another old business, ordinance workshop.
Oh,
We need to set that up.
Yep.
Could be daytime, as long as you don't make it a Thursday.
Whenever,
4th of July is probably not good.
no? Thursday wouldn't be good for me, except, maybe later in the afternoon, but Saturday or whatever. Friday, following Monday. You call it.
Monday's good. So I think it is.
Next Monday?
Yeah. Is that all right with you?
I'll make it okay for me.
Is it better for you in the morning or afternoon?
I don't care.
Okay. 8 o'clock. How's that?
Yeah.
Today's the 2nd, so it'll be July 9th.
Yep.
I think that wouldn't take more than a couple hours.
Well, a couple hours to go through them, I would say, and then there are some that reference RSAs. You would have to check later if they're still current, if there's new ones, that kind of stuff. That's what I would look at. Or, you know, there's some. I did ask comments that I'll have information on the detail situation,
Okay.
and I have some other ones that I would kind of like to review myself.
All right, on the new business, I have one item before we get to the two
9 a.m.
here.
Tonight, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'm
You
sorry.
and I want to get together to, because even though there's no storms going on, I heard a lot from emergency management directors about the heat. We're not big enough to have a cooling center, but I'd like you
Will.
to make sure you're getting all the inputs, a chance to get in on these
Yeah.
conference calls and so forth. When's a good time that you're on Thursdays?
Not Thursdays. Schedule just changed this week, so I think here.
On
Monday, Tuesday, anytime after 4.
Well, can,
Because I'll be Saturday.
We'll have it.
Saturday
We'll
day,
do next,
Sunday.
if you, Jared's meeting, we'll do it next Monday before the selectmen's meeting. It'll be after 4 o'clock and
Yeah.
before 6.
Sure.
okay, so that's July 9th.
I'm here for you, John.
Is that 4 p.m.?
4 p.m. sounds good.
7, 9?
Yeah, it's mostly just to make sure his name is in the right place so that state calls you.
Put it in my
Oh,
calendar.
is this a regular meeting of the JLC?
No.
Oh, no, okay, so I don't need to.
I want to make sure
Oh, okay.
he gets the chance to go on these conference calls.
Oh, okay.
He's alerted about the different weather alerts, like they had a big tornado scare up around Berlin and Gorham.
A couple weeks ago.
Right, if there's one around
A
here, he
couple
should be
weeks ago, it
notified.
was 2 nights ago.
He should be the one that's notified about it. Okay.
Oh, there must have been another one.
Will you update him on the FEMA? Does he need to know what the FEMA thing that we applied for and all that? So if
Yeah.
he gets any information, he knows what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about FEMA.
We've applied for things, so
Oh, nice.
so if you get something, you know,
Okay.
we need to.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds good.
Good. Okay, next item, town hall renovations. Do you wish to have this? Okay,
All right.
please.
The Heritage Commission has been looking at their expenses, and they were watching their expenses. And it was discovered here about a week or so ago that we have overspent our income that we received so far. The Heritage Commission is pretty embarrassed about that. We should have paid more attention. However, part of the problem was, and it's nobody's fault, we were looking at an account list of expenses that was transferred. They were all there, but there was an earlier account, right? 40,
Yes.
there was an earlier account that was for Old Town Hall renovation expenses. And we were not aware of that account being there. Bottom line is we've overspent. The town hall is done except for painting and a couple other things. We've overspent $18,000. Now, of the $18,000, there's been a lot of expenditures on the other part of the building. It was not part of the program, and we're looking at those expenses. For example, the kitchen. The kitchen was not part of the initial project or the renovation. However, we did some renovation in there that was kind of attached to the project, but not really. For example, when the electrical was done, the ceiling had to be pulled down to hook up and so forth and so on. So the ceiling was pulled down. We decided to redo the ceiling with plaster. So that was some money. That was probably a kitchen project, not really a town hall renovation project. There's a couple other things in there, foundation work that really was not part, but we did the whole foundation at once. So we're looking at reassigning those expenses, and I think we can get that down to a more manageable thing. The Heritage Commission is looking at to intensify their call for, it's not going to raise that much money, but it will, for additional pews, and to try to make up some of the money. But you know, the expenses, unfortunately, we just didn't pay close enough attention. We were watching that one account list, which was, what was it, 2301?
2301.
2301, and in January, we actually did an addition of all our expenses, and we came up that we were way under. So we didn't go with abandonment to spend. The things that we spent on were things that are necessary, but nobody overspent anything or did anything maliciously per se. We just kept doing what we had to do for the building. So,
Question.
yeah.
So if you're gonna look to allocate some of these other, some of the stuff that happened,
Yeah.
like in the kitchen, say, so to speak, is that gonna go against the money that,
Partially, yeah.
But 40,000 was allocated. Doug Gregory's low bid was 11,500.
11.5, you just added 12.50.
That's 1,250.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you add in the electrical work, you add in a new freezer and some stainless steel tables. Don't hold me to this, but I'm thinking we're going to be 25,000,
At the most.
but we appropriated 40. So maybe that'll help to pay the foundation, the ceiling work. Okay.
Not that that was part of the plan, but I mean, we can't sit there and keep going to the well, so.
Part of the expenses we spent was to, when we got in there, we had to repair the floor. Remember that we had to repair the floor because it was unsafe. The beam had cracked. Actually, we've done it twice, and because we didn't know if the kitchen was going to be done or not, so we wanted the kitchen to be operable. We did have some plumbing issues in there. They're minimal. We also, and that went on the Old Town Hall renovation account. We also beefed up the ceiling and the rafters up there before we did any plastering, because it was pretty unstable, so that is stable now. And actually, with the framing on now and the new kitchen is all done, the floor was replaced, and that roof is not coming down,
Right.
so.
John wisely asked that the contractor make sure the wall, the 3 exterior walls, be beefed up to where you can put more insulation in.
Yeah.
They used 2x3s for that wall,
Yeah.
which you could use 3.5-inch insulation, but you have to squeeze it, and when you compress insulation, it's not as effective. So all along the 3, actually 4 walls, the interior one as well, it's all been scabbed out to 5.5 inches. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
And there will,
Right.
yeah, it also will be easier for the electrician to run his electrical instead of down in the basement or in the crawl space down there. I do not, we will continue to run the water pipes in a chase. Do not want them in the basement, or do not want them on any exterior walls to prevent freezing. The water lines are PEC, which is a little more forgiving. We had a little bit of an issue last fall, or last winter, but we got through that because of improper insulation, but that's all been corrected, so we should be fine. And the way we do the chase is, the chase will look kind of like that. And every so many feet, we put a vent. And we insulate, the tubing would run this way, we insulate like in the back wall and over the top, but we leave the front open. And that should be fine. And then on the new kitchen, the water pipes will come down through the interior walls. The only thing that will be under the crawl space will be drain. And that usually doesn't freeze.
So is, excuse me, so what, is there anything left that has to come out of the,
The only thing that's left to be done at the old town hall is the floors. We don't have, right now, the floors are.
and we don't have the money?
Right now, we don't have the money. The floors are bid at $4,200. We also want to put a dehumidifier in the main hall, underneath the main hall, just to kind of keep the dampness out of there. That's minimal. That's it. The rest of it is painting, and that's all volunteer. It's almost done. The chapel upstairs is completely done. We just need volunteers to come up and wash the 2 end aisles of pews. And downstairs right now, it looks like it's not done, but we're storing a lot of stuff there. I'm gonna start at the end of this week, start moving out some of the excess wood that we had, or lumber material that we took out that I couldn't see throwing out. I'm just gonna put them out in the back, and if people want them, they can take them to clean it up, to get it to be usable. That's it. That's all. I mean, there's nothing else left to do. The outside is done. The outside needs the clapboards out there, the clapboards. They need a coat of white paint. So I got to figure out what color it is, because some of the building is flat, and some of it is glossy. So I have to match it up. And it's just
Leftovers.
Huh?
Leftovers.
Whatever. I mean, I don't know what color. I was trying to talk to Rick, because when they painted it last time, remember they painted it a few years ago with,
service.
I was gonna say Erie County, but with Stratford County Community Service people.
Right.
And I know I think we supplied with, 5-gallon pails of paint, but I don't know what it is. Maybe Rick will know what it is, but if that's the same paint, then that's a Saturday. It goes quick. You roll it on, you get somebody behind with a brush, and you're done. It's all primed. The clapboards cost us $4,200 just for those replacement clapboards. But Those clapboards are,
Are they Trex?
no, but they are treated and primed all the way through. Or all the way around, they're primed all the way around. And when they put them up, when they cut, they prime the butting ends, and then they put sealant in there.
Nice.
The big stove is still there.
Yeah.
It's not in the kitchen right now, but it is there, and we'll bring it back in the same spot.
Yeah,
Hot water heater is moving a bit.
yep,
Okay. The back room has the wall up now, and it'll all be sheetrock, volunteers will paint it. I don't see much going on in that room until we decide how we wanna use it.
it's quite big,
Yeah,
surprisingly. The kitchen sinks in the back, we have to refine that a little bit. I wasn't quite sure. I told them we had triple sinks in there.
yeah, I think you changed it to 2.
We changed it to 2, because the triple sinks, we don't need triple sinks. We need one big sink for pots, and then maybe a smaller one, just for stuff. But a deep sink for pots and so forth. We will have a faucet with, like you see in the commercial kitchens, with a squirter thing. We're also trying to work out a pot filler next to the stove, so that you don't have to fill at the sink, pick up a big 5-gallon pot of water, and carry it over and spill it all over the place, so it just will come up and move it around. Other than that, the cabinets have been ordered. The only other thing is flooring. Put that in, that'll be pine flooring, will go in. And what we're going to do with the back room, the storage room, there's 2 storage rooms. One will be locked, which is a pretty good sized room. The other one will not be locked. That's where the hot water heater will be, pots and pans, that kind of stuff, maybe food supplies and so forth and so on. We're thinking not to cover that with pine flooring, just get some very good plywood, 3/4 inch plywood, put it down, patch it, paint it with porch paint. Just like it's gonna be, I mean, you get good, if you prime it, if you patch all the holes, the seams, with a good floor patch, you can get that. Prime it with a good oil primer on there, you're good to go. And then you get a good porch paint, and there's no need to put the good flooring in there, because it's just gonna be a storage area. And if you ever wanted to do it later, you could just put down tile on top of that, it wouldn't be a problem. But there's no need to, you'd have to, if you put tile back there, which is, you know, like an asphalt or 12 by 12 tile, you still have to put subfloor down there, 5/8 and then 1/4 inch on top of that, and then you can lay it down. Or if you want to put sheet goods, it doesn't make sense to spend the money. So good gallon of floor paint is $25, $30. I can get it for 25 where I'm getting it. So
Are you still of the opinion that Old Home Day, we're in there?
yeah, I think so. I really do. It'll be close. The holdup will be the cabinets, because the cabinets take 4 to 6.
Joe's Plumbing.
Joe's Plumbing will take care, that'll be easy, the gas line and the plumbing, but we're ready to go, we can put all that stuff in. And the electrician can run that stuff. I mean, the quote on the job included the wallboard and the taping, so, and the materials. The only thing that cost extra, which was minimal, was we went from 2x4s to 2x6s, and the difference in cost was minimal. The other thing, the original bid did include trying to save the beam that we repaired. And if you ever get a chance to go out there and look next to the dumpster, that's where the old beam was. And we looked at the beam, and it was not worth saving at all. And so we ripped the whole thing out, put in brand new, and that floor is, that floor has got it's got 3/4 Avitech on the bottom, and then 3/4 going the other way on the top. That floor is solid as that. Plus, for a minimal amount of money, I think it was, I don't know, it was $90. We put we just laid plastic vapor barrier down there. So that will help keep the moisture from coming up in the floor. So that's where we're at.
All right, and after the electrician is done, the sheetrock is up, and
Painting.
he's gonna do the money, gonna look for people to help with the painting.
Yeah.
Okay?
I gotta get in there first with a little hot and cold
Right.
pipes too.
Yeah, okay. All right. Anything
Save
else?
some money. I'll do it for nothing.
Thank you.
Volunteer. For the record, I'm not charging for it. I'm gonna
Okay,
get myself in trouble.
anything else on the renovations? Okay. All right, furnace service.
I
Anybody know
just,
about this?
yep, I just wanna know, the furnace downstairs probably needs cleaning and the highway.
Because the last time it was done, I did it
How long ago was that?
3 years or so.
Okay, so we need to clean the furnace.
Supposed to be done annually.
Should.
Any recommendations on who we should, the gentleman we had has passed, he's no longer.
Should.
Oak.
No, I wanna tell everybody for the record what's going on. I haven't been doing it, okay? At one point, we had some former police officers who went to the DA's office, for Stratford County, and we're gonna have me brought up on charges for, as a politician or as a selectman or whatever, doing work and taking money from the town. There's doing, supposedly gonna have to be investigated. We had a meeting on other stuff, and the district attorney, ADA, Tim Sullivan, in that meeting, part of the 501A, I think he said, anything over $250 has to be put up to bid, okay, for work. I do no labor, I've done nothing where I made money on it, other than paying for the materials, okay? But at that point, I said, I'm not gonna do nothing for the town any longer, because I'm not gonna put my license and my business in jeopardy to do freebie stuff for the town. It's not worth it. So, having said that, the last job we did was downstairs, and the cleaning and stuff, and I haven't done since, and it hasn't been done since. So, and that's the deal, why Joe has backed off doing it, so.
What's a 501A?
I don't know. It's
The
just-
the
it's no
reason
bid-
I ask is because,
It's putting work, stuff out for bid through contractors and stuff.
Yeah, you have to, a
Contract
certain
work.
amount the town has to put out for bid, especially if they're involved.
Okay.
If it's anything that the
if
board,
they're involved, okay.
yes.
So basically, anytime I've done any work, the selectmen, whether it's Terry Laffey or Mike Schwartz, I always brought to them first. They all knew what was going on, they all approved what was gonna happen, stuff like that, so there's nothing shady going, that Joe's just trying to get some work out of the town and stuff like that, so,
Okay.
anyhow.
Can I ask a question? How often should an oil furnace boiler type that be serviced?
Annually.
Annually, okay. Have we looked at contracts to do that? Aren't there people that
You're talking about a overall service contract?
service contract, is that something to look at or not? Because if you, I'll bet you that's what kinda happened to the furnace over at the old town hall. It was an oil furnace, and you cleaned it once, I think, gratis, way back, and it was really a mess.
You had
And-
safeties that weren't on it, that were
Yeah,
bypassed.
so, that furnace, it's important to have
With a knife.
it's important to have a clean furnace, correct?
It's still on it.
And it helps with fuel efficiency, correct?
The overall efficiency, and you find some issues now, instead of in the middle of winter when things freeze up, so. it gives you
So
an
should
indication.
we entertain a bid for services? Because this would be the time that those heating companies are looking for
Yeah.
service. What about a propane furnace? Like, we have a propane over there. I'm told those don't need to be serviced as often.
You don't, unless they get flooded out.
We were close.
You're close. No, basically, all you do is change the filters, and those are done from the top. Other than that, gas is pretty much clean, maintained itself. I mean, the only thing you do about every couple of years is check the gas pressure, make sure that, because that's part of your efficiency to maintain proper gas flow to your unit. But when I do the water heater over there like that, I'll be checking all that at the same time, so they both operate, you have enough gas
Yeah.
for them, so that'll be part of it. So your first year will be done for nothing.
Well, you could add, you could, yeah, well, I tell you, if you got a, I used to have my furnace cleaned once a year, and it's gas, and then I don't know why I spent the money on it. I
Surprise.
should have talked to him before I did that, I was doing it. Then
Paul said
then I
they'll
talked
always
to him
take your money,
Then I
but
talked to him one day, and he says, what are you doing? I said, I don't know.
change your filter once in a
I
while.
do, I change the filters a lot, so I mean.
As far as service contracts you go,
Yeah,
okay, you'll probably get a bunch of different companies, and they're gonna give you 3 types of contract, which is the basic, the middle, and the ultimate, okay? Yes, all the parts that are commonly covered are the stuff you're never gonna need. The stuff that they know is going to be like transformers, pumps, that sort of thing, are not covered. Because they know they will be replacing it. It's all, okay, so having said that, you're supposed to get 1 annual cleaning, and your contract will go from cleaning to cleaning and renewed upon that, if it passes the first time, okay? So, having said all that, a contract, if you get the ultimate, you get free service calls, free parts, and that sort of thing. But the parts, like I said, that are covered, you don't, probably will never need. So,
What do you recommend?
I would not go with a service contract. Find one person who wants to the business, and have them come over, do this town hall, go over and do the garage, the highway garage, at the same time, same day, and have it scheduled, and just pay them, no.
And about the firehouse?
The fire, that's gas, you won't need it,
Okay.
okay? So basically, this one and the highway garage, the only two you have to worry because they're both oil fired.
Yeah, the only thing about, I would, and I kind of agree with you, we just have to make sure that we as an administrative part, that we have a reminder, because years, you know, even though it's hot now, this is July, August, September. What happens in September? We start getting leaves changes, it starts to get cooler, and the heating contractors, they go bonkers.
This is the worst time of year.
So
Everybody
this,
calls it
this
the
would
first
be,
night,
this
first cold night.
this would be the ideal time to go out and seek somebody who would be
And I'll be
willing.
honest with you, a guy like me right now doing a cleaning in someone's basement, I wouldn't mind when it's hot because it's usually pretty cold.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is.
No, but I'm saying, they get busy, so, but they're, you know, heating contractors are busy with air conditioning units and so forth and so on, so.
We moved up to Farmington in '91 and into Middleton in 2003. And I've always used Cardinal and Glidden, and I've always had good business with them.
Recommendations for me, unfortunately other than me, Mike Vashon does a pretty good job, and Mike's doing the AC over here.
Yeah.
He does oil burner work.
Yep, Mike used to work for them.
He's trustworthy and he's honest, and
Yep.
he'll take and do a pretty good, he'll do a good job, okay? So I would recommend Mike. To be honest with you, I've been running behind a bunch of other ones that supposedly are good, and I get a lot of extra work because they're not so good. So I'll be honest with you, I mean, Mike's the only one.
Mike's really good. He used to work for Cardinal and Glidden, and he always took care of my furnace.
I have to tell you, and I'm not trying to be biased, because Mike and I do work together on jobs, and I'll be helping him tomorrow. He helped me last Friday. But it's one of those things that if I can't do it myself, who don't want to clean my furnace, I'd have Mike do it.
Mike do it, right.
That's the only person I'd recommend. So, and Mike will do it. He'll get on the schedule for you and set it up and take care of it.
I agree with you.
So, do we need to have somebody come in now and look at the furnace and see what needs to be done?
I would just schedule for cleaning. And the reason I say that is because outside here is a chimney. We're basically sitting probably almost on the furnace rate, the boiler right now, okay? The chimney. You go up probably about 6 feet. You have to get on a step ladder, small step ladder. You take the chimney off, and that's where it goes out, and that's ground level, okay? And the last time I cleaned it, they had over, almost 2 5-gallon bucketfuls of old debris, dead birds, and stuff like that in it, okay? That's the last time it was cleaned. It was so bad that it was pushing the soot and stuff up like a little trough to trying to vent. So it was bad. So and
Carbon monoxide problem.
yeah, exactly. But that gets into like that. The first one's gonna be out the tops. They'll be down and out.
Mike Vashon sounds good to me.
So, and I'll be working with Mike tomorrow, so I will approach him with it, if you guys are okay with that.
Sure.
Okay. And see if we can't get him on the schedule to do it.
All right. Yes,
Excellent.
please go.
Down at the beach,
Which
I don't know what the responsibility of the beach master is.
Which one? Down here, Jones?
Yeah, the Jones Beach, yeah. Would it be possible for, every time I drive by and I see a truck or a vehicle with a trailer on, I throw one of these on their windshield. What this is it's just a reminder, it's a reminder to clean your boat, dry your boat of weeds and so forth and so on. Would it be too much to ask her if she's around
No, not at all.
to put these on there? Even kayaks?
Mhm.
If you see somebody go there with a kayak and if they, you just throw it on their windshield. I delivered one guy who was pulling out, he said, "Oh, thank you." And I said, "Just a reminder,
Yeah.
because it is state law to clean your boat, to prevent milfoil from going from place to place." So I've got a couple of these and I would like to give these to her, and if there's questions,
Are you up to see her, Laura?
Yep, I can call her.
Okay.
yeah, I'll come up, if she wants to come up, and I'll talk to her about those, and just a little, there's some other pamphlets that are even more, it's just a public, we have signs there, it says clean and drain, but sometimes it's more effective if you throw something on the windshield. And people who do kayaks and canoes don't realize that they can carry that, but they can on their paddles. Just microscopic stuff that gets on there could be transported in.
Have you guys ever been through Maine, southern Maine, western southern Maine?
Yeah.
In Maine, they have almost every lake, whatever,
Yeah.
they have wash stations now.
Yeah, the state is looking into that. And there are wash stations and cleaning stations in a lot of the lakes, but those are run by the New Hampshire Lakes Association, and it's called their Lake Coast Program, which the state supports. But there are 72, there's almost 80 lakes that are infested with invasive species. So from Winnipesaukee down to Sunrise Lake. So they can't be every place. And the wash stations Maine has invested a lot of money in those, and it takes a lot of money. The wash stations, I've seen prices, I just saw them a couple of weeks ago. Anywhere from $10,000 a unit to $4,000 or $5,000 a unit, depending on what it is. Whether it's just a wash, whether it's a hot water thing, I mean, they get real complicated. So the state is looking into that, but I can guarantee you they're not gonna pay for that. You're gonna pay for that.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
They better give me a boat.
Right.
All right, other items that we haven't covered tonight, we'd like to go through.
I had a couple of questions. I've heard that the full-time police officers are taking the vehicles home after the shift. Are they? And if so, why?
There have been, you wanna know
I
mine?
just do,
No, I asked the chief that, like, yeah, there has been an occasion where he's been on vacation and he's out like that, so the lieutenant, who is acting in his stead as the next in command, will obviously take it home with him when he's acting in the chief's place. If they have details that are not in town, instead of driving all the way over here to drive back with a detail, maybe they're allowed to take the vehicle home for a detail and then whatever.
So this isn't an everyday thing?
No, it's just that right now it's been busy with details, so it looks like it's every day, but it's not an intentional thing, no.
Okay.
It's just basically the need, so.
And your ordinance meeting on the 9th, you guys gonna be discussing that no parking issue?
our intent is to at least look at all the ordinances for this town. I don't think we're gonna take any action to change any of it. Step one is just to review them all, all right?
I mean, like I said before, we've lived up here since 2003, and until the chief stopped by our house last summer, I never knew there was a no parking.
Okay.
Good luck.
that there was no parking ban up on us, in our area.
Townwide.
I've been,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I'm aware of it. It's been around,
I asked a lot of people up there that have lived up there longer than me.
yeah.
Nobody realized we didn't have, that we had no parking ban up there.
Also,
Well,
your
it's the
garbage
whole-
can needs a cover on it too.
Huh?
Your garbage can must have a cover on it.
Ours do. I mean, that's only common
Mine's the
sense.
same.
It's an ordinance, town ordinance.
Really?
Yeah.
So-
Yes, but it does, but I know a lot of people that don't know.
You do.
But I mean, when somebody makes a concerted effort to stop and tell you this, and then you see all these other cars parked on the street, nothing's ever said to them, I'm getting a little bit tired of hearing that crap.
No, like you said, you have the chief, he's been here about a year now. He's,
He's been chief for a year now,
right,
but he's not a new cop.
no, I'm not saying that. But give him a chance to work his way to make all this stuff start working, because actually, it's never been addressed before. So, I don't know, give him a chance, you know, it's been this way for a
If you
long
don't pick on
time.
me,
No, and it's been this way for a long time, so another, year isn't gonna kill the wait to get it, so it should be fair across the board for everybody.
But in terms of, you see other cars parking on the street and nothing gets done, I liken that to seeing other people exceed the speed limit.
oh yeah, that too.
You know, just.
And when he stopped, it's funny, John, because the day that the chief stopped and said something, both Ken and Jimmy Mitchell, because he was living there at the time, parked their trucks in the street. Just for that reason, because if the trucks were parked and they weren't parked side by side, they were like opposite of each other. But it slowed everybody down coming down Dudley.
Yeah.
Because what else are you gonna do? Some kid's gonna get hurt up there. And we have a lot more kids up there now than we used to
Speed
have.
limit's 25, right?
No,
On Dudley it's not?
speed limit's like 20. When you come
No,
around
it's
that
not
bend,
20.
it
Can't be
drops to
20.
15.
No.
No, can't be lower than 25.
Right.
Can't, maybe it can't be lower than 25. There's a speed limit sign on the first corner. As you come down Nicola,
Is
as you
it,
come around that
Is it
first
yellow?
bend, it's a 15-mile-an-hour
If
speed
it's yellow,
sign.
that's recommended. That's
Yeah, I know.
It's not enforced.
Gosh, you could put a legitimate speed sign over
it's
there.
like a
and
friend of
nobody
mine
would
used to
pay
say, the
attention.
yellow double was only a recommendation.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right, what else for the good of Middleton? Okay,
Motion
See you
to
then.
adjourn at 7:38.
Thank you very much. Second.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, we're done. Thank you.